and welcome to Breakfast with Dr. J. So I hope you've had a great weekend. Weekday and going to have a great weekend. Gee whiz, hasn't the time flown? We're in the new financial year. So this is the first Breakfast with Dr. J. So welcome. So when you pop on, please say hello. We have lots of people from all around the world grab the Breakfast with Dr. J. So it's always good to see you. So welcome. The first Breakfast with Dr. J for the new financial year. So I wonder what you've been doing for the first week. I know we've been pretty busy dashing around on the Zoom, and also now we're actually out of, how can we say, the COVID lockdown and can go places. We've been doing some of our training belly to belly again. And one thing came up was how important is the telephone. The good old phone. They look pretty different these days, don't they? You know, most people only have the mobile phone. But we also have landlines actually in business. So I thought I'd jump on today, and this could take 2 days, this little presentation, but it's something that we take for granted because it's easy machine to use, but there is an enormous amount of skills that we have to have when we're using the phone. Morning, P-Man. How you going, my friend? Hope your things are going great. Saw your lives and your pictures on Facebook. Looks terrific. We have to have a chat soon. Now, the one thing that I find when it comes down to telephone work or phone work or call work, whatever you want to call it, there are some significant mistakes that are made. Now, these mistakes have been done for decades, but it's become more and more important to understand what to do nowadays because there is so much more competition in the marketplace. So if you get the opportunity to use the phone to communicate with somebody, or they call into you, you have to know what to do. Now the problem here is that we can't make sales unless we have a conversation. So I'm going to go through a number of points this morning, which I think will get your trusty pen out, get your cup of tea, because it is Breakfast with Dr. J, and let me have my sip. As most of you know who tune in regularly, I make a great cuppa. Now, I'm going to go through some things with you, and I'm going to show you some things. Not going to be too long, so take some notes, and I can assure you, if you are good with your phone work, and are good with your telephone skills, I'll guarantee you something. You'll increase the number of sales you make because usually from the initial conversation, and remember it has to be a conversation, not just an email, a conversation, and conversations can be done via SMS, it can be done by Zoom, it can be done by FaceTime, lots of new things. But we'll call it a phone work. And we all know that the phone is more than just a phone these days, but we'll keep it simple this morning. So there's 5 steps, and please take note. The first thing is, why is your phone so essential? Now, why is phone work so essential? Oh, gee, it's just phone work, isn't it? Well, firstly, it's the key to conversation. Now, unless we're face-to-face, belly-to-belly, as we say, you're not going to have a conversation. Conversations are the avenue for the opportunity. I'll say that again. Conversations are the avenue for opportunity. If we're not good at a conversation, how can we create enough rapport for the person to tell you what they want and then tell you the truth, find compelling argument, and then part with their hard-earned money? So with the telephone is a very easy thing to pick up and push the buttons, but if we're not very good at having conversations, we have a problem. Keep that in mind. Next thing is, the telephone or phone work is not just for phone calls anymore. Yeah. The phone is used for SMS, it's used for emails, it's used for FaceTime, it's used for Zooms, sending links. Most people have a phone. And people say, oh, look, it's just phone work. No. The phone work, the telephone work has to be good. And the question I'll ask you is, how much training have you had with your phone work in the last 6 months? Probably done a lot of phone work, being stuck at home and having to get on Zooms and so forth. But the telephone, some people don't have a computer, don't have a Zoom, so the telephone is still, and it's still the preferred way of communicating with most consumers. How's that? The next thing I want to make sure you understand is a phone is one of the easiest ways to get in contact with a prospect. Now, we get an email in and so forth. We send an email back. We know we've got a hard yakka of a time. We've got to then say, get onto the phone. And they used to say it was in 2 minutes. Guess what, guys? It's under a minute. And people, I've been hearing people say, oh, no, we'll just hold on to that and we'll hold on it for a day. We'll send them some communication first and then we're going to call them. There was an organization that said that they didn't want to call the people straight away. Let me tell you right now, the immediacy is critical. We can't just sit and wait, because guess what? If they don't hear from you, maybe they get an email back, but they want to have a conversation. They want to know the price. They want to know what it's going to cost, the red brain stuff. But we don't have set strategies in place and we don't practice them. It is a real big challenge right now. We lose millions and millions of dollars a day around the world because of poor phone work. So, what do we do? Well, it's easy to fix. And you do need to be trained, obviously. You need to have the tools. I'm going to give you some of them before we wrap up today. Now, let me just give you some mistakes that people are making. They tell people to get on the phone when they first start working with the business. Now, guys, if you've got brand new people on board and all that sort of jazz, let me give you the heads up. And we've been training now for decades. Don't have people getting on the phone as soon as they join your business. Oh, unless you're a telemarketing firm, but let's just say you're just a normal everyday sales professional. They'll say, get on the phone and call these people. Call these people that didn't buy. Don't do that. Avoid that at all costs. That is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. You never put the person on the phone from the get-go. The phone is a skill set which has to be, let's say, finessed. And you need to do some practice and drill, rehearse, and also some, let's say, role plays to make sure you're ready to go. So that's the first big mistake, putting the person on the phone straight away. The next thing is training telephone activities first. Oh, we'll do training on the phone then. Oh, Dr. J, we want to get them on the phone. I get it. Don't train them on the phone. Unless it's just a telephone job. Now, as I said, let's keep that in perspective. Always train your team members on the product and service and belly-to-belly presentations first. Now, hear me strong here. You have to train your people how to present, close the sale, go through your initial contact, qualification, explanation, demonstration, and close before you teach them phone work. Why? Well, the reason is, if I know what's going to happen in the presentation, the close and so forth, and know how to ask for the business, when I talk to the person, I have a subconsciousness. I know what you're going to do, so I can talk about the experience they're going to have. Remember, people are going to come to meet you and have an experience. So, just recap that. Don't get people on the phone first. Make sure that you train them belly-to-belly skills before you train work. Next thing is, did you know that the telephone is the most undertrained tool in sales? The skill of telephone work, your phone prompts and so forth. It's the most undertrained, and it's also the most under-inspected. We just expect people to do a great job. We say, oh, he knows what to do. He's been doing it a long time. And the salespeople say, I know what to do. And let me just give you a little bit of a story. Many, many years, when I was the operations sales director of a company after I sold my business for a short period of time. And I was very confident in our people doing a great job on the phone. And I said, oh, guys are great on the phone. We do great training. And I said, but I must admit, I hadn't inspected it for a while. Anyway, I was out with a couple of colleagues and I said, hey, let's call one of my colleagues said, let's call one of your clubs and let's see how good they sound, because I'm really excited to hear them. So we called one, and let me tell you now, it was ordinary. Oh my goodness. We called another one. It was okay. I went, let's call another one. And we then had one that was absolutely picture perfect. And guess what? It just really emphasized to me that I wasn't inspecting it enough, or wasn't getting the managers to inspect them. How often are you inspecting your phone work? They call it phone shopping, and if you're going to phone shop, never do it without asking the people, are they ready to be phone shopped? There's a big rock for you. Never say, I'm going to do shopping of your club or business until you ask the guys, hey guys, you guys are awesome on the phone. We'd love to be able to do a mystery shop on you. You know, we're going to give you $20 if you get the 5 points right. Who's up for it? And they go, yeah, pick me, pick me. They're ready. They go, oh, don't do me. Training. They should be chafing at the bit to be inspected, to show them, to show you how darn good you are. That's just a bit of a by the way. Anyway, next thing is, a lot of people, the big mistakes is they don't have a prompt. Yeah, people just are going into winging it again. And I'll give you the heads up again. Winging it just doesn't work. Now, we don't know what the prospect is going to say. We don't know what the inquiry is going to ask. However, we strongly recommend that you create a very simple prompt. Now, this is a front of mind call we created. Now, you can have it on your computer and all that sort of stuff, but it's not a script. It's a prompt. And the best salespeople that I work with all around the world, every one of them uses a prompt. It prompts you to what to say, because guess what? The prospect and the person is going to go off the page, and we teach people to go off the page. But it has to be triggered. This is another mistake. We need to make sure we have a triggered prompt. In other words, we have a left and right side, as you can see. As you can see, this side is about getting the triggers, getting permission, enough rapport, find compelling argument. On the other side, it allows us to recall what they've said, to then create a reason for what's next. It's called a triggered prompt. Now, you need to know what's on the prompt. You almost need to know it off by heart, but you use it 100% of the time. Big mistake, not having a prompt. Guys, I've actually seen businesses that don't have any. It's all in their head. What happens if that person leaves? Disaster. No process. We're losing thousands of dollars a day because of that. You've got to have a prompt. We create these prompts. And actually in the Sales Authority Club, we're actually going to be doing phone work again this month. That's another big mistake, not having a triggered prompt. A whole sea of words doesn't work. And let me give you the heads up here. You've got to make sure you have your cheat sheets, in other words, your USPs on your prompt. Show that you're different. See, there's a few things to keep in mind when you're using that good old thing called the phone. But you know what? It's just so undertrained. I have so many complacent sales managers and owners saying, our phone work is amazing. Sorry to tell you, it's not. Ring up your business today, this morning. Give them a call. See if they follow the prompt. See if they follow your process. Give them a rating. And I've got another way of actually doing a phone shop. I don't actually go through the process of, oh, they didn't say this, they didn't say that. I've got a new way of doing it. It's a 5-point structure. That's for another day. Next thing is, I don't see many businesses doing phone practice these days. Get on the phone and do a practice. Practice, drill, rehearse. Get on the phone. Hello. Build the rapport. Go to compelling argument. Your turn. My turn. Your turn. My turn. Practice it. Because if you're not practicing your phone work, it's not going to get better. It's just going to get worse. You'll miss things out. You won't teach them things. You won't throw your USPs in. Yeah. How often have you done your practice, drill, rehearse for your telephone activity? When did you last get on the phone if you're a manager or owner and say, hey, salesperson, how's your phone work going? Oh, it's terrific. Hey, let's have a quick call. Oh, you're making me nervous. Why are you doing it every day? I really want you to have a think about, are we utilizing that phone properly? Are we using it on the SMS properly? Are we using it for FaceTime properly? It's not just a telephone call now, is it? Again, lots of little things to think about. A couple of other things I want to cover before we wrap up. When we try to type when we're on the phone, it's a big mistake. Don't try and type while you're on the phone. If you're trying to type while you're on the phone, especially with the fellas, they're still a bit stilted. And if you're trying to read the prompt while you're on the phone, you're trying to read it, that's not going to work either. You've got to essence it. In other words, remind you what to say. And if you're reading something, tell somebody on the phone that let me just read this to you, Pele. Let me just read this to you, Mary, and read it to them. Don't say I'm reading a script, though. That would be silly, wouldn't it? All right. Last one of the mistakes is we sit down to do telephone work. Guys, with the technology we have right now, stand up. Stand up and have your prompt ready to rock and roll. I've got people doing this now, and it makes an enormous difference. We have some energy and so forth, and don't stay on the phone for more than half an hour to an hour. It's just going to kill the sale. Yeah. So they're some of the things that are making mistakes. Now, let me just tell you a little bit of the third point is the mindset. If you want to have success using your phone, there is a simple thing to do. Let me give it to you now. We have to have a mindset of one chance and the what's next mentality. I'll say that again. You have a one chance mindset with the what's next mentality. We get on that phone. We have our little chin wag. We go through the process, get rapport, get compelling arguments, show them you're unique. Have a prompt. And then make sure that you're on the phone and you're doing it right. Because you've only got one chance. I've only got one chance to go to the next stage. In other words, it could be for a booked appointment. It could be a sale. It could be you're going from a discovery call to a strategy call. But always have the what's next mentality. After the phone goes down, what's next? Do you send them a card? Do you send them a text? Do you send them it's good to talk to you email? What's next? If you don't have that what's next mentality, you'll be the same as everybody else. The what's next mentality and the one chance mindset is critical for phone work now. Think about it. Last time you made an appointment, what did you do? You probably just wrote them in your appointment diary. Did you send them anything? Did you do something? If it did, great. If you didn't, what's next? What's next? Oh, they're turning up. What's next? Go make them a cup of coffee for when they're turning up. That's different. Okay. There's a process we called AEE, arouse, engage, enroll. If you say, how am I going to arouse interest? How am I going to engage in conversation? How can I enroll to what's next? That's the process we use. AEE, arouse, engage, enroll. Easy thing to do. We have them in a prompt in people's cockpits. AEE. And if you want to have success on the phone, the mindset is I need to be perceived as the expert. You've got to teach people stuff that they don't know, to just give them a little tease about it and say, hey, we'll cover it in more detail when you pop in. This is the mindset that you need to have a compelling argument to come and meet you, not to see your product. All right, a couple of last things to wrap up for this morning. Give me some loves if this is resonating with you, because I said it could be a full day's workshop. But let me give you the heads up. It does take skill. It's a skill. So if this is resonating with you, always good to see some comments coming in the left-hand side. I'm on the computer, not on the phone. So say a few things back to me. So I know I got a few people on this morning. So most people are still in bed, but you're up. All right. As I said to you before, have a look at your prompt. Don't just have a piece of paper with a whole lot of words on it. We recommend that you have a format. Now this is just a small one, front of mind, and you have a left and right format. You can have your follow-up. Now sometimes it goes a bit longer. Separate it. Have little bits on it to say what you're going to do. Now it's never going to run in order, I can promise you. It'll never run in order. And so people say, oh, we'll just type it on the computer. Let me tell you right now, that's a nightmare. We're still using pieces of paper and say, well, that's old school. Well, it is. You can type it in the computer later if you want. Put it into your database. But let me promise you, most people don't go back into that database and check all their notes, because very few notes in them, even though CRMs have them in there. Yeah. I'm on the coalface. I know what you want, but I know what's happening. Anyway, ways to fix that. Have an incoming and outgoing call prompt. Yeah. Have an incoming and outgoing. Now, a lot of us are getting emails and so forth. We need to have a matrix. We need to know what to say. We need to know what to say if we're leaving a voicemail. You need to have these prompts. Don't leave it in here. Put it on the computer. If it's just a voicemail, make sure it's matrix. In other words, different things to say. SMSs need to be just templated, cut and pasted, put the person's name in there. Don't put it like I got the other day, hi, and it was just the text message. Put my name in there. Easy to do. Have a pen all the time near your phone so you can tick some things off, and stand up like we said earlier. All right. To wrap up this morning, I'm almost at my time frame. If I could show you a way to increase your show percentage by 5, 10, 20, or even 30%, would you do it? The answer yes. Type in yes. Give me a thumbs up. For those that are seeing it on replay, give me a thumbs up. If I could show you how to increase the amount of people you saw by 5, 10, 20, even 30%, would you do it? Well, let me tell you, we have businesses that are doing what I'm going to show you that have increased by 30, 40, 60, 80% in some cases because they had such a low show rate. Because we have to have the show rate or the what's next rate, in some cases, high. For some people, it's a show rate where they go and see them or they come and see you. And sometimes it's not that, it's just a what's next, but it's a conclusion. All right. Here's, just take some notes down. Firstly, and make sure that you go outside the box here. In the olden days, we used to say, let's build massive rapport with people and so forth. Now, I want you to build enough rapport, and then I want you to say you're going to do something for them. If they're going to come to see you, or you're going to see them, I want you to do something for them. Hear me? This is easy. Do something for them. Don't say, hey, come on and see me. We'll talk about this. We'll fix that. That's going to be terrific. Here's the address. I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Bye. What are they going to come for? Well, they're going to come to meet you, but what are they going to think they're going to do? They're going to get sold something. Now, that's why we go into we don't use the word appointment. There's some words but you might have used a strategy that we did many years ago. Say, hey, how about we have a tea or coffee? I'll bring one in for you, or I'll have one ready for you. Okay, you can keep doing that, but that's not enough now. You've got to do something that's going to be, what am I going to do for you, give you when you turn up? In other words, you need to do something of value. Hear me? This works. So, they're going to want to come and meet, number one, an expert. Number two, they want to come to see a business that has something that's unique. So expertise and uniqueness. You've told them that you're the only first biggest that do it or have whatever they need, right? So these are must-dos. They come to meet an expert, and you must have told them you've got something that's unique, and you're going to show them and give them something that's unique. Hear me strong here. The last thing here. Confirm that the USP, or unique selling point or position, is important. So they're coming to see an expert. You've got a USP that is really important to them, and you're going to put together an action plan for them, or a success plan. I'm going to put an action plan for you. I'm going to put a success plan for you that you can take away, whether you do business with us or not. And you tell them what you're going to, I'm going to write this in, I'm going to write that, I'm going to get this ready for you. You could have it. And sometimes it's outside of your business realm. Oh, yes. You say, look, I've got a contact for that, and if you need, I've got a good place to go for that. Obviously it's not our business, but I'll write that. I'll put that together in a little bit of an action plan or a success plan for you. So when you pop in, or when I come to see you, and then recap what you're going to do for them. Recap that you're an expert, and recap that you've got something that's unique. So, in summary, make sure it's not just a cup of tea. If you want to have a higher show rate, making sure they're going to come and see you, the expert. Confirm you've got a USP and create an action plan or a success plan. That it doesn't have to be all about your product or service. It could be outside that regime, because that shows you are an expert. Yeah, bit to cover for the telephone, isn't there? But let me give you the heads up again. I want to make sure we're really clear on something. Telephone skills have actually improved significantly in some worlds. And in most businesses, though, they've stayed the same for the last 5 to 10 years. People have got lazy. They're not using the prompts. It's changed. The things you need to say need to change. You've got to actually have it fixed. So, there's some ideas of what you can go put into practice. Put it into practice. Do a bit of a phone shop. Now, for those of you that like a little bit of help on this, look, I'm more than happy to do let's do a Zoom together. Let's talk about some of your prompts and some of your scripts, how you're doing them. More than happy to do that. I'll put a little link in there. You can book a time with me. We'll do a Zoom, and we'll have a chin wag, and I'll have a look at what you've got, and I'll give you some ideas. How's that go? Little gift for you. So the answer to the question, should you have a script or prompt? Absolutely. Don't use a script. Always use a prompt. Go off the page and learn your craft well. All right. We're going to wrap up for this morning. You have a wonderful weekend. I hope everything goes great. Thanks so much for joining me. For those who see me on video, which most of you do because you're still in bed, put some comments down the bottom. If you want to have that chat with me on Zoom, I'll put a little link there. It'll go straight to me, and we'll have a chin wag. I'm Dr. J. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.